Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Louisville Rotary Annual Banquet. We're getting ready to get started here, and we'll be right with you in just a few minutes. This is the Spotlight Media Network.
Good evening. Can you hear me back there now? Thank you. Welcome to the Rotary Annual Banquet. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry that it's so hot. Didn't find out about that until just a couple of hours ago, so my apologies. Salads have already been served, so we're going to ask Mark Ziegler if he would please bless our meal for tonight. Mark?
Thank you, Randy. Good evening. Would you please join me in a spirit of prayer? Good and gracious Heavenly Father, we worship you, we sing your praises. Bless this meeting this evening. We thank you for the blessing of our speaker, Attorney General David Yost. Please be with him and those with his party, that they may have safe travels home. We thank you for this food, those that have prepared it. May it be used to your honor and glory. And Lord, we just ask that you take this Rotary Club of ours and treat us as a stone in a pond. And may each little wave emanating be of goodwill, be of peace through our community, through our county, our state, our country, and the world. And may people come to know Rotary, not just for peace and goodwill, but for service above self. We ask this prayer in the name of your precious Son, Jesus the Christ. Amen.
So again, we are at the Louisville Rotary Club Annual Banquet and Officer Installation. Due to some copyright with some music in the background here while the folks are eating, we're going to be in and out. So again, this is the Spotlight Media Network.
Hello everyone, I'm Tegan Evans. As many of you know, when the Louisville Herald moved on into retirement, the city of Louisville, Nimishillen Township, and all of its community members were left with a void. The community lost its ability to hear about local events, news, information, sports, and community projects. We lost the ability to come together for Louisville's betterment. Well, we have a solution for you, Spotlight Media Network. Spotlight Media Network is a place anyone can go, whether it be social media, YouTube, or our website, that will display information in different formats to show the best Louisville has to offer. One last thing, if you have something newsworthy or something you would like the community of Louisville to hear about, send us an email at spotlightlouisville1@gmail.com. So if you want to see what is happening in Louisville or the best Louisville has to offer, check out Spotlight Media Network, where we know Louisville is number one.
Are you looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle with a great price? Then check out Ted's Auto Sales. Ted's has a great selection of vehicles and will find you the right one that fits your needs. Ted's was founded on trust, integrity, and respect, and has been serving in the Louisville, Ohio and Nimishillen Township area for over 65 years. So call Ted's today at 330-875-9401. Ted's Auto Sales, Louisville's premium pre-owned dealer.
Did you know that when you invest in your smile, you're investing back into your Stark County community? Welcome to Thomas Dental. My name's Tanya. I'm Dr. Mike's practice manager. Every day, we're investing back into our community. Here are just a few of our community efforts. Here at Thomas Dental, our mission is bringing smiles back to our community, one smile at a time.
And we're back here at the Louisville Rotary Annual Banquet and Officer Installation. Everybody's eating right now, so we'll be getting started here momentarily. And it should be a nice event tonight. We're here at the Louisville Eagles, and I'm excited to hear speaker David Yost. So we'll be with you in just a little bit. This is the Spotlight Media Network.
To get started a little bit earlier due to the warmth of in here. It gives me a lot of pleasure to introduce our special guest speaker tonight. Mr. Yost graduated with a bachelor's degree from The Ohio State University and law degree from Capital University. Began his public speaking career or public service career, in Delaware County as an auditor, and later won the election as the county's prosecutor. In 2011 through 2018, he served as the Ohio Auditor of State. In January of 2019, began serving his first term as Attorney General, and he has continued to be our Attorney General. And without further ado, Mr. Yost, it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to be with you. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it's hotter than my wife down here. I took off my coat. I hope nobody will be offended at my informality. But it's I might just pass out if I have that extra layer on. We wanted to go ahead and get started. Even while you're eating, please continue and enjoy your meal. I have to say, I've been to a lot of Rotary meals over my career. I don't think I've ever had steak. This is pretty cool. But I wanted to start off by acknowledging the wonderful tradition of Rotary. I was able to serve in my hometown Rotary for many years as a young man when I became a statewide and was traveling so much, the demands of my time pretty much made my service requirements unattainable. But I always have had a soft spot in my heart for Rotary, in part because it keeps alive a very old-fashioned idea, and it's in your motto, service above self. That has animated my career in public service. It animates so many wonderful Rotarians that I know across this state. And as the Attorney General of this great state, on behalf of the 12 million people here, I want to say thank you for the work that you do here elsewhere in the country and abroad, serving those who are less fortunate. So thank you. I see you. I recognize your work. I also wanted to start off by paying a little tribute to an old friend of mine, who I haven't seen in a couple of years, but the former Chief Andy Turowski has been a fabulous law enforcement leader for many years. And I'm pleased that he's continuing his life of service to the community as city manager. And I'm not going to read this, but my office has issued a formal proclamation recognizing his service in this community. May it continue many more years. Andy, it's great to see you. Congratulations on your retirement. And I had an opportunity to meet his successor as chief. Rachel, would you stand up? Let's hear it for Rachel. Got it back to blue, folks. So I want to talk to you for a minute about something that I think is really important, and you'll hear me talking about it quite a bit over the next couple of years, probably. There's two threats out there that may be coming to a ballot box near you, and I want to warn you about them. Now, I won't presume to tell you how to vote, but I want to tell you how I think about it, because I think an awful lot of people in this room are probably going to agree with me. The first one is the property tax measure. Now, how many people, your property taxes or your rent have gone up in the last 3 years? But everybody, and everywhere I go in Ohio, I'm hearing the same thing. People are mad because they didn't vote for a tax increase, and their taxes went up anyway because of inflation. And there's a group collecting signatures to abolish the property tax on the November ballot. I don't think they'll probably make this year. But here is an important thing for you to know about the law in Ohio. The certification for the ballot and the collection of signatures doesn't have an expiration. Under the law, it continues. So they can just keep going until they have to get over 400,000 signatures, but they get to keep working on it until they get there. And I think this is going to happen sooner or later. I am angry about the taxes, and I'm going to tell you up front, if the legislature doesn't move to fix it, I'll probably vote yes to get rid of property taxes altogether, simply because I think the greater evil, it will create chaos, but the greater evil is senior citizens in this state, people, and not even seniors, people that are still raising their families. They've worked all their life to earn that house, to make the payments, to have a place to live. And they can't make it anymore because inflation is driving up their taxes. I've talked with people everywhere across the state, and that is morally wrong. Nobody should lose the house that they worked for, maybe built with their own hands, because of unvoted property tax increases. I'm going to spend the next year talking with every local official that will listen to me, because I think we have a narrow window to come in and fix this, pass a law that makes it returns the power over property taxes to the people where it belongs. But I think it's going to end up on the ballot, so I encourage you to learn about it. It will be, if property taxes are canceled in this state, it will create immense pain and chaos. Now, I think that chaos and pain might happen if the legislature won't listen, but it's important for all of us to make sure that the legislature knows we want them to act. This is their job. If they leave it to us, they might not like the results. The second question that is likely to come to you is on qualified immunity. Now, that's a couple of great big words. And basically, this is what it means. When a police officer is out there on the street and they're doing their job and somebody gets hurt, you can't sue the officer. Probably can sue the city, but the officer has what's called qualified immunity from lawsuit. That means they don't lose their house, they don't lose their savings account, they don't lose their car because they got sued. There's a group out of Cleveland that thinks that this is terrible, and they want to eliminate qualified immunity by a ballot initiative. And they're going to dress it in beautiful words about accountability for the police and justice for regular people. Let me tell you, the police are already held accountable. When an officer makes a decision that turns out badly, they're going to face an internal disciplinary review. They're going to face possible job action. They're going to face through the courts a suit against their government. They could lose their job. There's a lot of accountability. We don't need to do this because you know what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to find cops anymore. Who would take that job? Average 11, not average, but there are officers in this state that are making $11 an hour. They do a little better here in Louisville. Thanks very much, Chief. But nobody gets rich off this job. Where else do you go and get, at best, a middle-class wage for the privilege of working in the worst kind of weather on every kind of day, and maybe people will shoot at you or try to stab you? Add to that you could lose everything you worked for because somebody decided to sue you and your family. Who's going to do that job? And here's the thing. Qualified immunity doesn't just work for cops. It's everybody else that works for the government. So the guy that drives the garbage truck, if there's an accident, he could lose his house. The teacher who didn't notice that the one little boy was picking on the one little girl, and they say I was negligent, she could lose her house. The city manager, everybody from top to bottom gets qualified immunity right now, and this legislative or this constitutional amendment is going to eliminate it. It will be disastrous, my friends, for our system of government and for public safety and every service that you and your families rely on. I'm going to vote no, and I hope that some of the things that I've just said have convinced you to at least take a very skeptical look at the abolition of qualified immunity. All right, that's all the really serious stuff I had to talk about. I wanted to offer one more observation from my time in public service. I started out in the private sector. I was a lawyer in the private sector. Before that, I was actually a newspaper reporter, although I don't tend to talk about that these days since the media are not exactly held in high regard. But I noticed, because I had to run my own law firm, my own business, you think about things differently in the private sector. Because you don't have the same tools that the public sector does. Here in the private sector, you have your wits, your ability to decide, your ability to persuade, and your own money. That's all you got. And you've got to solve all your problems with those assets. So you pretty quickly learn a lot about a problem so that you don't make a mistake in how you solve it. In the public sector, of course, we have power to make people do what we want. You can pass a law. You can also spend other people's money to solve a problem. And I've noticed that people who go into government that have never been in the private sector tend to reach for those tools first. Other people's money and pass a law. Well, that's not necessarily the best way to solve problems. I believe the best way to solve problems is to learn deeply, to be curious, to keep asking why is that the way, why are things the way they are? Why do people act that way? Why does the money go that way? Why does this thing not work? And keep asking questions and learning, because that will lead you to good facts. That will lead you to what's true and good and beautiful. So I'm reminded to give you, that sounds very esoteric. Let me tell you a story that illustrates this. About the Jefferson Memorial. You know, big, beautiful memorial down there in the Potomac tidal basin, right? To Thomas Jefferson. And they noticed that when they were power washing it, it was starting to melt. Now, it's made out of limestone, not the hardest rock out there. And, you know, they were power washing it to clean it, and it was starting to dissolve, which is not good. So they said, well, let's figure this out. And it turns out they were using a very harsh chemical in the power wash. And the reason they were doing that is because what they were power washing was bird poop. It turns out that out of all the buildings in Washington, birds love the Jefferson Memorial. And so this stuff would bake on there, and you could not get it off with a chisel. And so they were using power washing with this harsh chemical. Now, most public sector people would use force or other people's money. So you could ask, you could go out and try to find a new detergent that wasn't so corrosive. But they said, well, why are the birds coming here so much? And it turned out that the Jefferson Memorial is covered with spiders, which apparently is like bird caviar. I mean, they just love this stuff. And so they would hang around and eat, and then do naturally what happens after birds eat. Now, I could see a government agency with other people's money saying, well, I know what we'll do. We'll put out an RFP and a grant proposal to develop a sonic cannon that has frequencies that only birds hear, and we'll bathe the area in that frequency to deter the birds from coming over here, and then they go out and feed somewhere else. Of course, some of my conservative friends would probably approach this and say, you got a bird problem? Me and the boys from the gun club will be down on Saturday. But what they actually did was smart. They said, why? Why is the Jefferson Memorial covered with bird caviar, also known as spiders? And it turns out the spiders like to eat midges, little tiny bugs. And it's a tidal basin, right? Not far from the ocean. Washington actually, for those of you who don't know, before Donald Trump ever said it actually was a swamp. I mean, like a geographic swamp that they drained to build the city. And so we got these midges. Well, we got to ask again, where are the midges coming from? Why are the midges here? And it turns out that there's a very odd explanation. And it is all the fault of the chief photographer of the National Park Service. How do we get there? Well, it turns out that he ordered the lights to be turned on a half hour before dusk so that people could take beautiful pictures of the beautiful memorial while they're there on their once-in-a-lifetime vacation to our nation's capital. And the lights drew the midges off the tidal basin, which drew the spiders to feed on the midges, which drew the birds to eat the spiders and poop on the Jefferson Memorial, which led to the need for power washing. So at the end of the day, because you actually kept saying, why, actually learning something, actually figuring out what was going on, the solution was to turn the lights on an hour later. And you actually saved money because you're not paying for the power washing. You're not paying for the electricity for an hour a day to light the thing up. And there was no harm to the environment, and everything went on just fine. I mentioned this story to you because I don't have any use for the status quo, but I have even less use for people who think they know everything, people who have all the answers. I trust people who listen to something, and instead of offering an opinion, they say, well, why do you suppose that is? What causes that? Where did that come from? How come? That person is a wise person and somebody we can trust with public service. My name's Dave Yost. I'm going to be your Attorney General for the next year and a half, and I hope to continue to serve you in that way. Now, given the heat of the evening, I'm going to stop talking. That's an applause line. Come on now, give it up. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Attorney General Yost. Appreciate you speaking for us tonight. A couple of housekeeping items. If you have a cell phone on you, please turn it off or put it on mute. In Rotary, we have a $5 fine if somebody's phone goes off, and we've got a guy in our midst named Jim Edwards who likes to call people just so they can make them pay $5. So no names, please. Restrooms are back in the far left corner back there. So if you need to use the restrooms, please do so. I'd also like to thank Rob Johnson in the back for running sound tonight, and Mr. Rick Dunlap back here behind me has been playing the music and helping us out that way as well. To get our official meeting started tonight, what I'd like to do is, if you would, stand up. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, the four-way test, and those are pledged, you know the words. The four-way test is in your bulletin, and then we're going to sing It's a Grand Old Flag, which is going to be led by Mr. Mark Ziegler. So let's do the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test, it's in your bulletin on the front. Ready? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Mark, would you like to come up and lead us in It's a Grand Old Flag?
Hey, as everybody knows, today is Global Beatles Day. Now, when I played quarterback for Coach Starkey, he let me call audibles. But Coach Starkey's not here, so we'll stick with the grand old flag as much as we want to celebrate the Beatles. Listen, it's not Hang On Sloopy, but let's let them know in Columbus how we sing up here in Louisville. Grand old flag on 4, 2, 3, 4. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. The emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast for brag. May old acquaintance be forgot. Keep your eye on the grand old flag. Hey, that's pretty good. Let's do it one more time. You're a grand old flag. You're a high-flying flag. And forever in peace may you wave. The emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. May old acquaintance be forgot. Keep your eye on the grand old flag.
Please be seated. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. The last 12 months have been a very exciting time for our club. The mantra this year, which is right out on here, was the magic of Rotary. And that's kind of been the theme of what's been going on. And I like to think that our club had some pretty good magic for Rotary for the last 12 months. About 4 weeks ago, we went to the District 6650 meetings, and we got a number of awards, which were really kind of exciting. First off, we got third place for the pollinator program out of 46 clubs, which was pretty cool. We also got International Rotary District 66 Club Excellence Award, and that was for significant Rotary activities throughout the year. Excellent example of service above self. And a lot of that had to do with the amphitheater, which we'll talk about here in a minute, and a couple other programs. We also received another award, and this was also International Rotary District 6650 Club Excellence Award, presented to Louisville Rotary Club. Exceptional creativity, visionary thinking, and commitment to innovative solutions that enhance all aspects of membership, attraction, engagement, retention, and develop in support of the mission and values of Rotary. So those are kind of cool to win for our club. Thank you. The magic of Rotary for us is also important this year because this is the 100th year anniversary of Louisville Rotary. We have been serving the Louisville community for 100 years, and I grew up in Louisville as a kid, and there were a whole bunch of different civic organizations around, and to use the term of one of my favorite TV shows, I think we're the last man standing. And that's kind of cool. September 27th, we will be having a celebration dinner at Water's Edge, and we would invite you to attend if you can or if you would. There are some brochures that look remarkably like this on your tables. There are also some little cards that look like this on your tables. If you're interested in signing up and attending this dinner, it's going to be something special. The person who's going to be our keynote speaker is Stephanie Ulrich. Stephanie is the Rotary International Worldwide President. And I got to meet Stephanie last year. I've heard her speak a couple of times. She's a very dynamic person and an excellent speaker, and I think everybody will enjoy the time that we have with Stephanie being there. So that's something that I hope that you will think about and sign up if you want the brochures. Again, they're on the table. Help yourself. Along with the 100 years of Rotary, about a year and a half ago, we started talking as a Rotary Club. What do we want to do to make it special? And we talked about a lot of different things, a lot of different ideas, and we came up with finishing the amphitheater project at Metzger Park. Back in 1999, there were two individuals from Louisville who were part of a Leadership Stark County program, Leadership Canton. Cynthia Kirshner and Greg Denarda. And they started the amphitheater out at Metzger Park. If you go out there right now, it's approximately 520 lineal feet north of the new library. And there's a cement pad down there with some steps and some landscaping and so on. What we want to do is finish the project. It's going to look something like this. The architectural drawings for the amphitheater project are over there on the wall. Our goal when we started this whole program was to raise $260,000. That's to put a permanent cover over the amphitheater, to put a light bar across there, possibly upgrading the electrical security systems, landscaping, building a 520 lineal foot by 6 feet wide cement path from the new library parking area down to the amphitheater to make it wheelchair handicap accessible. So our goal is to raise $260,000 to do those things. So far, we've raised $225,000. So we've got about 3 more months before September 27th, roughly, and we're going to try and get that additional $35,000. If anybody here wants to help donate to the project, there are some cards that look like this on your tables. Feel free to take the card home with you. There's a mailing address on the one side. The cards go to the Louisville Community Foundation. That's Jay Barton is the president of that, and we thank Jay for his help. Any money that's donated to the project is tax deductible because the Louisville Community Foundation is a 501c3. Anybody who donates individually or with a family, $100 or more, your name will be prominently displayed on a sign next to the amphitheater. Businesses donate $1,000 or more, same thing. Name of the business will be up there on that sign. So that's something that it's kind of neat, and hopefully we'll get some good results. I also want to thank the city of Louisville for all their help. Andy Turowski, thank you, sir, for everything that you're doing. For the city council, for their faith in this project and making it happen. We have 2 council members, Pat Fowlett, mayor, and Joni's here. There's Joni right there. She's on city council, right? So thank you for your support of this project as well. And we're going to get there. Anything you can do to help us, by all means, please do so. We have one of the best flag programs in our district, maybe the best flag program. And a big thank you goes to the volunteers who faithfully go out and put the flags up and take the flags down and do all the work. If you are a flag If you are here tonight and you are a flag volunteer, would you please stand up so that we can give you a round of applause? Thank you very, very much. We couldn't do it without you. I also want to thank a few Rotarians who bust their tails to get the flag program organized and moving each time. Jim Edwards, Glenn Heiller, Denny Valentine, Jerry Dunlap, and one of our newest members, Mark Greco, has kind of immersed himself in the flag program. So to all those folks, thank you for all you're doing, pounding those new stakes in and helping put up flags that don't get put up or get missed or something happens. It's really appreciated. It's a lot of work, and we really appreciate these guys. Thank you. The majority of the money that the Louisville Rotary donates and gives to our community comes from the flag program. We also have 2 other programs that generate a little bit of money, and that's our Pancake Day in November at the middle school. And Greg Anderson kind of spearheads that. Greg, thank you for that work. And this year, we started a new program. We held our first annual Rotary Pickleball Tournament. We held that at the YMCA. We limited it to 32 players, and believe it or not, we had 32 players sign up. Over half of those people had never been to the Louisville YMCA. And I would say that 70% of the winners, either gold, silver, or bronze, got medals. And the folks that won the medals, you'd have thought I gave them $1,000. We took their pictures, and it was so cool. So we're hoping to make that an annual event. And if you never played pickleball, it's kind of fun. Go out and do it. It's something new. We got a really nice pickleball set up at Aljancic Park. And if you can use it, that would be great. So the money that we receive in goes back out. We have a grant program here at Louisville Rotary. And that grant program last year paid out just about $8,000 to individuals and some newer businesses to help them get started and get rolling. Scooter Israel, wherever you are, thank you for your leadership on that program and everybody else that takes part in that. We also pay out about $3,000 going to Umbrella Alley, places like the YMCA, and the food bank here in Louisville as well. Something else that I'm kind of proud of is we also support and do the Warm Coats program every November on a Friday afternoon. And there's a lot of volunteers here, and you know who you are, that go up there to the YMCA. We provide a brand new coat, a hat, and gloves to Louisville students. No one's turned away. And this past year, we provided those items to 130 Louisville students. And we always keep extra hats, coats, and gloves up at the YMCA. And if someone else needs someone, or not that anybody ever loses a coat, right, Teresa? I think Dan lost, how many coats did he lose that one year? 5 coats in 1 year. Wrapping around his neck. But at any rate, that's something that we really love to do, and it's really giving back to the community. When I first became president about 12 months ago, Jim Edwards came up to me in his usual enthusiastic way and said, "Randy, 50 for 100, 50 for 100. And of course I looked at Jim like I sometimes do, like he's got 2 heads, and he started to explain it. He said, "Randy, let's go for 50 members of Rotary in the year 100 of our being." And I thought about it. I thought, wow, that's a lot of members to get. And we had, 38, 39 back then, but we've been working on it. And I'm really happy to say that as of right now, we have 49 members. And member number 50 is going to be Rachel Carasello, who is the new police chief. She turned in her application tonight. Thank you, Rachel. So, Jim, mission accomplished. Thank you. 2 of our members I want to recognize. One is Rob Johnson, back in the back, from Spotlight Media. If you've never been on Spotlight Media, I'm going to do a shameless plug for him. Great stuff, always the school stuff, always going on with Rotary and so on. Believe it or not, the average Rotary meeting that we have on a Wednesday, over 2,000 people watch our Rotary meetings. And in the last 7 or 8 weeks, Rob told me this afternoon, we've had over 3,000 people, 3,000 hits watching Rotary. I don't know why, but at any rate, it's kind of cool. So Rob, thank you for what you do, and we appreciate everything. The other person I wanted to mention is Cindy Fisher. Cindy is also a new member. She is the owner and publisher of Louisville Neighbors magazine. She is giving us a lot of publicity, and she's also written articles on several of the families of the members who are here in Rotary. You all know that the Herald went out of business, what, 1.5 years, 2 years ago? And that was the main artery of communication in Louisville. And Spotlight Media, Neighbors Magazine, those types of things, obviously Facebook, it's kind of how we have to communicate these days. It really changed over the last couple of years. And for those new members, thank you for what you do. Appreciate it. Tonight, we would like to honor and recognize 4 people who are Rotary members. And these honorees, the first 3 have been Rotary members for a combined 74 years. That's pretty awesome. If you throw out Jim Edwards, what's his been now, Jim? 52 years? 52, is that right? Jim Edwards has been a member of Louisville Rotary for 52 years. Our 3 honorees tonight, the first one has been a member since 2002. He has served as our secretary loyally for many, many years. He's kind of the historian of the Rotary. He actually wrote a book for the first 90 years of our Rotary, and Cindy Fisher is working on 100 years of Rotary, and that book's going to be available at our big banquet September 27th. And for now on, Al Gress will have the title of Club Historian and Editor Emeritus of the Louisville Rotary. Al, would you come up and get your tag? Is he here? Yeah, I thought I saw him. Al? Your new tag, sir. Thank you. Our second honoree has been a Rotarian for 27 years, 1988. She was the first ever woman in the Louisville Rotary. And she has got more energy than about 10 Rotarians combined. If you go to Second Friday, and I highly recommend it, she runs the farmers market down in the St. Louis parking lot. She takes care of the food vendors up downtown, and talking on the telephone to all those people and trying to keep them all happy. Good luck with that. But she does a pretty amazing job with that. She also hosts our Christmas Rotary get-together in her beautiful sunken bar. And she also helped do the brochures, designed the brochures, and she's helping out with this banquet coming up. When we first started talking about recognizing this young lady, I wanted to call her the Director of Fun. But I kind of thought about that, and yeah, she probably deserves a little more formal title than that. Cynthia Kirshner, for all that you do, we're donating and denoting you as the Community Event Planner for the Louisville Rotary. Our last honoree has been a member of the Louisville Rotary for 14 years. And his work with the exchange student program blows me away. When you're president of the Rotary, you get to see and hear a lot of things that you never even knew happened. But I know what happens with the exchange program, and thank you not only to this honoree, but also to Barb DeJacimo, the Atkins, thank you, Dave Yeagley. Our club received an award at the District 6650 meeting a few weeks ago for our work with exchange students. This last year, we had not one, not two, but 3 exchange students. And most clubs don't do any exchange students. We had exchange students from Germany, from Turkey, and from Belgium this past year. This gentleman who does all the work is kind of like the grandfather for these exchange students. He takes them out for ice cream, takes them shopping, pretty much does whatever they want to do, and does it really, really well. And for all of that, Bill Wood, you are now the Youth Exchange Chairman for the Louisville Rotary.
Right there you are.
Thank you, Tom. Absolutely awesome. Congratulations. Our last award is for the Rotarian of the Year. And this year it was unanimous. The gentleman who's receiving this award is awesome. He's always available. He served on the Rotary Board for several years. I can call him and say, hey, I need this or I need that, and it's done. He takes care of the Louisville Constitution Day Parade, which, by the way, Rotary sponsors. And if you ever see a guy driving around the parade route in a golf cart that looks like a Rolls Royce or a Lexus, that's this guy. His job and what he does, he helped design, build, and fund our new library at Metzger Park. And I watched him over the last couple of years stressing out, probably stressing his wife out a little bit too, from what I understand. But it was a very tough go, but I'm so proud of this guy. Brock Hutchinson, Rotarian of the Year. I only have one request. Don't drop this. You can talk. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. I'm surprised. This is an exciting thing. Thank you. I'm blessed to do a job that I get to do. My wife kind of sometimes wishes that I didn't want to go to my job so badly, I think. It's a pleasure to serve all of you here in Louisville. I don't have anything prepared, really, but I will say that I am a little bit struck by the dichotomy that I'm up here. We built your public library for no additional tax dollars. Whenever our speaker talked about public servants reaching into your wallets, that wasn't even a thought. We raised over $1 million for our new library, and we had a bunch of different funding methods that did not include raising your taxes. So here to tell you there is dignity in public service. I'm proud to do this for you. I genuinely enjoy serving all of you. Thank you.
Before Rich Tirpak comes up to induct our new Rotarians, I just wanted to say thank you as being president over the last year. And I wanted to leave you with a quote that I dug up. And it's, respect the past, build the future, and let's all move forward together. Rich? Rich is the 2023-2024 district governor? Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds all right. All right, good. It's yours. Thank you.
You know, it is a little warm, but he told me I don't have to worry about you. It is a little warm, but, you know, thank God it's not snowing. Think how sweaty you'd get shoveling snow in this kind of weather. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. The responsibility to annually install club officers is a duty bestowed upon the past district governors. Now that goes along with the really generous pension, the travel allowances, and the other benefits of being a past district governor. It's like Jimmy Buffett saying, I will play for gumbo. But the reality is that few, if any of us, are here in Rotary for what we can get out of Rotary. We are here for what we can put into Rotary. We've come to know that the reward of Rotary is the altruistic experience of having done something good because it was the right thing to do. We find a problem, we think of a solution. We find out how to fund it, and then we take care of it. And so, on a global level, we're eradicating polio. Youth exchange all over the world. A well dug in Uganda. An orphanage built in Sri Lanka. Nationally, we help with hurricane relief in Florida, tornado relief in Kentucky, or a train derailment in East Palestine. Locally, restrooms, and now an amphitheater at Mesker Park. For me, I watched as a 4-year-old deaf Guatemalan girl heard her mother's voice for the first time. The hearing mission. By the way, that group is just getting back from another Guatemalan trip with extended services. Thanks to the Rotary Global grant sponsored by a couple of clubs in District 6650 and the Rotary Club of Guatemala Vista Hermosa. So this evening, we'll install the newest group of Rotarians to continue the work of Rotary here in Louisville. The group that will lead us in service above self. President Randy, may we proceed with the installation of officers? Will Jim Dutter, Greg Anderson, Brock Hutchinson, Cindy Fisher, and Sandor Gyarmati join me at the podium? If you will, hold your applause until the end, and then Jim Edwards will be much happier. Jim Dutter. Jim, would you step forward, please? Jim, the members of this club feel you have the qualities and abilities to lead them. As president of this club, you will preside at all meetings of the club and the board of trustees. You will appoint all committee members and act as member ex officio of all committees. You will perform all other such duties as pertain to the office, and you will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of Rotary International, as well as those of the Rotary Club of Louisville. If you are prepared to assume these duties, please say, "I will."
I will.
Jim, congratulations. You are hereby installed as the 2025-2026 President of the Rotary Club of Louisville. Jim, may we continue with the installation. Greg Anderson. Greg, you have been chosen to serve as President-elect of this club. As such, you have the opportunity to prepare for your role as a succeeding president. Your duties will include, but are not limited to, providing informative and interesting programs for the club. Upon the absence of the president, preside at all meetings of the club and the board of trustees. Perform all other such duties as pertain to the office, and render full support to the president in the furtherance of the objectives of Rotary. If you are prepared to assume these duties, please say, "I will."
I will.
Greg, congratulations. You are hereby installed as President-elect of the Rotary Club of Louisville.
Thank you.
Brock Hutchinson. Brock, you have been chosen to serve as Vice President of the club. You also will have the opportunity to learn and prepare for your role as a succeeding president. Your duties will include, but not be limited to, providing governance and oversight to all the committees serving this club, perform all other such duties as pertain to your office, and provide full support to the president in the furtherance of the objectives of Rotary. If you are prepared to assume these duties, please say, "I will."
I will.
Brock, congratulations. You are hereby installed as Vice President of the Rotary Club of Louisville. Cindy Fisher. Cindy, please step forward. Cindy, you have been chosen to the office of Secretary. It is the duty of the Secretary to maintain all records for the club, including and especially the accurate accounting of all board meetings, and perform such duties as usually pertain to this office. If you are prepared to fulfill these duties, please say, "I will." I will. Cindy, congratulations. You are hereby installed as Club Secretary. Sandor, please step forward. Sandor, you have been chosen to act as Club Treasurer. It shall be the duty of the Treasurer to have custody of the club's funds, accounting for the same, to the club as requested by the Board of Trustees and to perform all such other duties as usually pertain to this office. If you are prepared to fulfill these duties, please say, "I will."
I will.
Sandor, congratulations. You are hereby installed as club treasurer. You have some pins that I will allow you to go through and take the one that's appropriate. Glenn, I didn't call you up here. I'm sorry, but that's all right.
Okay, I was on the program, that's why I came up.
Well, Glenn Heiller, Sergeant at Arms, it says here, please stand at your seat. That's okay, you can stay right here. Glenn, do you pledge to carry out the duties of your office to the best of your abilities and provide maximum support to the President and the Board of Trustees in the furtherance of the objectives of Rotary? If so, please answer, "I will."
I will.
Glenn, congratulations, you are hereby installed. Randy Starr, Barb DeJacimo, and Bill Wood, if you would please stand at your seats. You have been chosen to serve on the Board of Trustees of this club. The Board of Trustees, as the guiding and oversight body of the club, is charged with the responsibility of guiding and supporting the officers in the administration of the function of this club, and is further charged with the duty of doing whatever may be necessary for the furtherance of the purpose of Rotary, the study and teachings of its unique features of organization, classification, and principles, and its constitution and bylaws. If you are prepared to assume these duties, please say, "I will." Congratulations, fellow Rotarians. You are hereby installed to serve on the Board of Trustees. Mr. President, this concludes the installation of officers for the Rotary Club of Louisville. Congratulations.
I'm a little taller. What a great turnout for this meeting tonight. Thank you for all of you for coming. It's great to see so many faces interested in the Rotary Club. And thank you for allowing me to be your president for the next year. Not only the next year, but the 100th year. The 100th year. All right. Get it up a little higher. There we go. When I was thinking about what I wanted to say tonight, I had to think about what was going on in 1925 that got this ball rolling. And thanks to Al Gress, and probably Kenny Bob Smith a little bit, they wrote some history. So we know a little bit about what happened. And in 1925, you got to remember, think about 1925. I know none of us were around back then, except for Jim Edwards. But anyway, back in 1925, World War I was just over by maybe 7 years, and we were in the roaring 20s. And there was business people in Louisville that decided we needed a Rotary Club. So they got us a Rotary Club. And, you know, service above self, what they wanted to do was, what can we do for this community? So a group of them went to see the executives at East Ohio Gas Company and said, we need a gas line into Louisville. Up until that time, all the homes and businesses were heated with either coal or wood. So here comes natural gas, and along with natural gas came the street lights that were gas powered. Now, to you and I today, that probably doesn't seem like a big deal, but I'll bet you it was a big deal back then. Fast forward about 80 years, and somebody already mentioned it, there was a need for some restrooms at Metzger Park, and so we didn't have to use those stinky porta potties anymore. So who did that? The Rotary Club of Louisville. I don't know how they did it, because that's a big deal. But they got it done. And I think Al Gress was one of the main pushers on that one, from what I hear. So congratulations on that accomplishment. And then go forward till 2024, we're building an amphitheater. And there's been many other projects over the years. And this is what's exciting about being part of this Rotary Club. We do things. We get things done. I'd like to recognize some of the tremendous assets that we have in this room. Some of the tremendous resources. First, I'd be remiss if I didn't introduce my wife, Vicki, 52 years, and she gets a bigger applause than I do because she's put up with me for 52. So I also want to talk about the Rotary Board. Thank you for serving on this board. There are no fewer than 5 past presidents. So I'm going to get a lot of good advice, and I don't think I can screw it up because they're not going to let me. Jim Edwards. Boy, your name's coming up a lot tonight. I had 53 years. I probably aged you one more. But legend has it that when Jim was 6 years old, he attended a Christmas party, a Rotary Christmas party, and he filled out an application and became a member. Just kidding. Jim was my sponsor. He invited me into this club, and thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. And thank you for bringing the first female into the club as well. That was a big deal back then. I'd like to thank Cynthia Kirchner, Amy Simpkins, and Jennifer Anderson for chairing the event for the 100-year anniversary banquet coming up in September. With those 3 girls doing it, I have nothing to worry about. It's going to be handled. And thank you. Dr. Greg Anderson, I don't know. I talked to him earlier tonight. I said, you got too many responsibilities. You're the president-elect, you're the foundation chair, you're the polio chair, and you were also volunteered to do the peace chair. Well, maybe not volunteered, I asked him to do it, but we're going to talk about that. But thank you. What a great resource, and past president as well. And then there's Jared Shive, the executive secretary, the membership chair. He keeps all the names and registrations and all that stuff so that we don't overpay or underpay, and keeps everything organized. Thank goodness. And Scooter, thank you for doing the grant program. It's really important to our community, and it really makes a namesake for ourselves. And then there's Brock Hutchinson, who for 20-some years, Louisville was trying to build a new library. And then Brock came along. And we got a new library. That's all I need to say. Mark Sigler, the songmeister, and most recent recipient of the Wall of Fame, Louisville. Congratulations. Barb DeJacimo, my God, what she can do with the youth in this community. She got with the principal, Gary Tops, and said, hey, we need to create a program that's welcoming to our foreign exchange students when they come in. So she created what we call the Ambassadors Club. They were hand-selected by the principal, Barb, and some teachers. And those 10 students, ambassadors, met with each incoming foreign exchange student and said, hey, we're here for you. If you need anything, we're here. It don't get any better. When I was at the district conference recently, everybody raved about the Louisville Foreign Exchange program and what they do. So, Barb, thank you. Bill, thank you. And the Atkins, and the Aglers who take kids to New York City or wherever, DC, and chaperone them. That's a big deal. This year, we have 25 ambassadors. The popular program, I guess. Huh? 25. We went from 10 to 25. They want to be part of it. And Barb is going to take those 25 and create Louisville's first Interact Club. How about that? Barb, whatever resources you need, you just ask. We're here. Now, if anybody doesn't know what an Interact Club is, those are 15 to 18-year-olds. I'd like to ask Bill Wood to come up for a minute. I signed a paper not too long ago, this evening, that guaranteed that we will have a host family for this young girl coming in from Italy in August. And I'm going to let Bill make his plea, because he's the best at it.
Well, speaking of how many years we've been doing something, this club has been doing youth exchange for over 50 years. We know of, I think, 3 people in the community who were American students who went outbound 50 years ago or more. And we've had a long success of hosting inbound students. This summer, we're going to have 2 coming. A young lady from Italy and another young lady from Brazil. And hopefully they'll both be here in time for school opening. But they can't get here until we find host families. And so give Barb or me or Glenn Atkins a call if you have any idea, or maybe even somebody in this room, Greg, could do it. So we appreciate your help in making the program great. And before we leave, I should introduce, where are you? Tirpak. This is the last of the 3 students we had this year. This is Tirpak Yannick. A lot of you have met her at other Rotary meetings. I think she's had a really good year here, right? Okay. And she, unfortunately for us, she has to go home on Monday. So in early August, the 2 new girls will be arriving to spend a year with us. Somebody here give us a hand and find a host family for us. I'd be happy to talk to anybody who has questions at any time. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks.
So I was talking about the great assets and resources we have here in this room, and I want to finish a few more. I can't name everybody, but we got the mayor here. She's a Rotarian, right? Married council person. We got a council person, Mrs. A over here, that is part of Rotary. We have the police chief, Rachel, who's brand new, and just filled out her application. She's now a Rotarian, or will soon be a Rotarian. And Andy Turowski, past police chief, city manager now. What a resource. And we got Spotlight, back there in the background, doing all these good things for our community and for our club. Thank you, Rob Johnson. I want to recognize Cindy Petiti. She helped us tremendously with our pollinator gardens, and when we have questions or we need some answers, she's got them. Always ready to serve. Denny Valentine, I can't tell you how many things this guy does. See all these banners around the room, all these signs and banners, the program that you got tonight. Denny Valentine. Photographs, yeah. Photographs of all the speakers that come into the club. They get a really professional headshot photograph that's really really nice for them. You can't tell me how many speakers said, man, that was really a good photograph. That's probably the best one I ever had. Denny Valentine. Thank you, Denny. We mentioned the flag program, but that's the lifeblood of our club when it comes to money. And thank you for everybody who does that. You're all stars in my mind. And then there's Randy Starr. And I couldn't have asked for a better mentor or role model to follow as a president, because he let me in on everything. He didn't hold anything away. I got emails at midnight, 6 a.m., text message, hey, let's have lunch, stuff like that. I mean, he let me in on everything. So I feel really well prepared and hopefully to do a good job. And I'd like to bring Randy up and acknowledge his accomplishments with a little gift. Randy, thank you for all you've done.
Thanks. Thank you.
Randy Starr, thank you.
Thank you.
So what's next? Number one, find a host family. 2 of them. That's our number one priority right now. So help us out. Talk to your neighbors, your friends. If you think of somebody might be a good place, a good fit, call Bill, Barb, let them know, or the Adkins, let them know. Number 2, we can't do it this year, but by gosh, I want to set the precedent for an outbound student next year. We should be sending somebody out of here to go to another country. There's so much you're going to learn. There was a letter that I received today, an email from Elaine Bozick, the district governor, in regards to it was a thank you letter from a student, an outbound student, who had a full ride scholarship to Bowling Green. But she wanted to do the exchange program and go to Spain. And they says, well, then you're going to lose your scholarship. So the Rotarians, this was in Worcester, the Rotarians went and talked to the university and changed their mind. The next thing is to get our first Interact Club. We've already mentioned that. Next is, I'd like to see us install at least 2 or 3 or 4 peace poles. Oh, I forgot, just a second. I got to change the screen. I was going to give Randy this on his way up. I'll give it to you later. Our new motto for this year, Unite for Good. They weren't Irish, I don't think, but it looks like it. So Unite for Good is our new motto this year. And I wanted to show you. This is an example of a peace pole that was put in a wherever, town, USA. And basically it's a wooden pole that you put in the ground, and it can have landscaping around it or not. And it has peaceful sayings on the pole. And I think we have a lot of talented people in this community that can help us get that done. So I'm looking for somebody to take that program on and run with it. And we can talk later. Just come see me. But I know there's someone in this room that would love to do that. And I could see one maybe at the library, one at Metzger Park for sure, one by the high school, one at the town, but in the green space. There's lots of places we can put that up and say, hey, we're a peaceful community. We believe in peace. I want to continue our pollinator program. It's not a one and done. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to find new places to put gardens and build more pollinator gardens throughout the community. And maybe get our citizens involved. And I'd like to find a new revenue stream. I know we got pickleball this year, which did really well. But we got Second Friday going on with thousands of people coming downtown. You would think we could find something, some little widget, gadget, or something that we could sell on the street and say, hey, we just made another $500 tonight by selling all these widgets or whatever. I think that's possible, and I challenge you to come up with some good ideas because I know they're out there. And there you have a lot of resources in this room. So figure it out. You got good ideas, bring your ideas. In fact, I want to talk about our newest members. Thank you for joining Rotary, all 10 of you. Welcome. Bring your passion to serve. Share your thoughts. Share your ideas. Talk to us. We want to hear from you. For all of you, we have a healthy club. I've been to the district conference. I've been to the PETS conference. I measured our club against the other clubs. We have a vibrant, healthy club. Congratulations. I want you to unite for good, help serve our community as we celebrate 100 years. Thank you. Adjourn. Thank you. I ring the bell. For those of you that don't know. Thank you for coming.
What's wrong?
And that was our Louisville Rotary Annual Banquet with the installation of the new president, Jim Dutter. Congratulations to Jim, and thank you to Randy Starr, our former president. We really appreciate everything that he has done, and we wish Jim good luck. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. It was a great honor to be here. And if you're looking for something that you can be involved in that really volunteers and helps our community, the Louisville Rotary is the place to be. So, again, I'm Rob Johnson, and I want to thank you all for joining us today on the stream. We will be back at it next week for Rotary, and we'll have other things coming to you throughout in between. But, again, I'm Rob Johnson for Jim Dutter, Randy Starr, and all the Louisville Rotary members. I want to thank you for joining us. We will see you in a gymnasium, stadium, or event near you. Have a great night, everybody. This is the Spotlight Media Network.